Travel 96 miles or so on Highway 25 north from Jackson, and you'll find the town of Louisville with a population of 6,631 Mississippians. You'll also find 100 unofficial citizens living inside the mind of artist Andy B. Childress.
I got started as an artist when I was probably one. Mom told me I was sitting at the table in my high chair. My brothers was doing their homework, and I was wanting something, and my oldest brother finally figured out it was a pencil. Then the second thing I wanted, is pretty easy to figure it out, was paper. So I just took it and I just went to drawing, and Mom said I sat there at the table and drew for 3 days straight. By age 3, I was actually interested in comics, and I would imitate what I saw. A few years later, I realized words went with them. But I knew by 3 I was going to be a cartoonist.
He was a talkative little runt after he was 10. He really didn't speak much because he had nothing to say, but he did draw a lot. He just doodling all the time. We thought we was going to have to beat him with the pencils, but Mama let him keep them, and he grew up into what you see now. It's kind of scary.
I work more in black and white than I do color, mainly because I'm colorblind with red and green, and that leads to some interesting times. Black and white strips, it's not hard to mess up. And if you look at the cover of my book with the Dawn of Time, you'll see the green grass, which luckily turned out green. You'll see the brown fur that the caveman's wearing and the brown fur on the monkey that also is green. I thought was brown. You know, it's more exciting for me. I used to stay away from paintings because of it. You know, it's a little challenging, but then as I got older, I realized I can just have fun with it. I paint it the way I see it and just let it go. And ideas are pretty easy to come by because I'm a freaking genius. You know, they just come from everywhere. You know, I see something normal, everyday life, and I just burst out laughing because I see the way to twist it into, you know, where it's a little humorous, maybe a little twisted humor. My first character that I ever created was Herman the Psychotic Chicken. He now goes with the strip Mississippi Swamp Dragons, which, as the name suggests, is about a psychotic chicken and a pessimistic clown. So you have me in class, 9th grade art class, and my teacher, you know, asked us to draw something Easter in it. And, you know, I had artist block that day, so I just wrote the word Easter, drew a box. He said, no, that don't count. So I drew a chicken in a floppy ear hat, and I said, here's the Easter Bunny. And he said, it looks like a chicken in a floppy ear hat. And I said, don't tell him, he thinks he's the Easter Bunny. And then it got me to thinking, that could actually be a character. He gets into mischief more than any of my other characters and probably represents my personality if I had no safety barriers in my brain to say, hey, stop.
Although Andy's true nature is more comedic, he also has a dark side.
Humor is the main genre that I use, but I also dabble in sci-fi and horror. I have the sci-fi strip, but I have a book I've put out a couple of times. It's the only work that I've actually collaborated with anybody. It's called Misfits and Mayhem, and it's just short horror stories. And I usually write half the stories in the book. My friend Shane writes the other half. And then I go in and I draw all the stories, letter them, ink them, put them together, and then put the book together and self-publish it and make it available online.
A friend once called Andy a shameless self-promoter. With that said, Andy definitely knows how to market himself to the masses.
You got something right on? All the comics are online, bubbleworldcomics.com. You go there and the 6 main humor strips are updated there. You know, one title for each day of the week. I have links to some of my other strips. I have a couple of extra humor titles that I work some. I do put books out now, which also you can find links to on the internet off of my website.
After publishing 10 books and writing 6 weekly web strips, Andy's latest creation is the Backwoods Comic Festival in Louisville.
I wanted to have the Backwoods Comic Festival in Louisville just because this is the town I'm from. I wanted something like this, you know, in our town, and I was just tired of driving all over the state for all these other events. I wanted something I could just go to across town. I figured the town produced a cartoonist, why not let it produce a comic festival too? You know, have people come to our town, you know, and help our businesses with the tourism, just build it up. You know, for our first year festival, it did very well. Everybody was surprised at how well it did for a first year festival with one person running it. The vendors are all coming back because they loved it. The people that showed up really enjoyed it. I had people from all over the state coming to it. You know, I'm going to try to grow it a little more because everybody loved it. Everybody wants to come back. So we're just going to have fun every year with it. And I want to focus on the art, comics, and writing. You know, you can go to a big con and get a bunch of media guests. But I want this to be a place where you can come and find a bunch of people doing web comics or writing their novels being published, but maybe in the state, you know, somebody you don't hear of, where you can find the stuff that you normally wouldn't be able to find. One thing is I want to realize there's web cartoonists in Mississippi actually putting stuff on the web, and you can find them. Maybe more people that have thought about, hey, I'd like to be a cartoonist, but I live in Mississippi. I can't do it. Well, you can with the internet, you know, so there's nothing really stopping you.
It's his dream, and that's what it's all about, is chasing the dream.
By being his own publisher, writer, and promoter, you can say Andy's a man of many personalities and talents.
When you have split personalities, it's better to put them on paper than to act them out. Not that I have split personalities.